Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 3, and we're going to be talking about a few things. One, we're going to be talking about the Blizzard Mountain DLC a little bit, briefly, because we've talked about it a lot before, but the main thing we're going to be talking about is, I want to talk about where the Forza DLC expansion trilogy might be going. Now, I have a few different theories because Blizzard Mountain kind of opens the door to expansions in Forza Horizon 3. Now, it could be something like Storm Island, where they only make one of them, because that was really the only massive expansion that Horizon 2 had, aside from the Fast and Furious pack. But I don't really count the Fast and Furious pack because it didn't really... It wasn't a, you know, it wasn't an extra area of like the map and had different weather and all this kind of stuff. It was more like a expanded car pack, if you will. So, a little bit of a different kind of approach there, but I think that the Blizzard Mountain expansion definitely has the potential to be something very similar to Storm Island, and I hope that it's not the only one that we see in Horizon 3. The thing is, I think that if it goes really well for Turn 10 and Playground Games and all of those kind of guys, I think if it goes well for them, there might be a chance for them to make more. And what I'm kind of curious about, or curious to see, is that if they do make more, will the next one be part of like a specialized environment? Because the snow, no matter how you look at it, is a specialized environment. I mean, like, that's just what it is. And I think that there are many different directions they could go with it as far as like what specialized environments they could do, but I think that there could be multiple options. I mean, one, for example, could be a drift-focused expansion where you're entirely focused on tight, twisty mountain roads. We haven't had anything like that since the days of Fujimi Kaido back in Forza Motorsport 4. We literally haven't had anything like that. I mean, even since Forza Horizon 1, when you had the canyons. I mean, those roads were still of that kind of caliber. They weren't quite Fujimi Kaido, but they were definitely of that caliber, the caliber of road, not caliper. That's a brake caliper. Anyways, I know that some people may be saying, oh my god, a Tomcat's going on again about Twisty Roads, but the thing is, we haven't had anything like that since Motorsport 4, and I miss it. I miss it really bad. And if you guys miss it too, let me know in the comments below. I mean, let's make this a discussion and talk about it and actually say if you guys want to see Twisty Roads, Touge Roads, things like that come back. I mean, I know that the mountain racers, the drifters, we all want that kind of thing back. I mean, we really do. So at least I do, and I think that it's an important part of the game that hasn't quite been explored in a long time. It's been a long time since it's been explored, and I think that it's an important part of the game to explore. Now, partly, I want to talk about Blizzard Mountain, because Blizzard Mountain, as we've seen in the screenshots, is going to have twisty roads. It's going to have twisty roads, it's going to have, you know, tight sections and stuff like that, but they're all going to be covered with snow. So you get more of a rally environment, and that's really cool. We'll have access to some of like a Touge-style environment, but at the same time, covered in snow isn't exactly how you want to use an environment like that all the time. So I think that partly there's part of me that says, oh yeah, that's cool. They have the twisty mountain roads and stuff like that. But even if they could say maybe do a mountain DLC and like a mountain expansion that is just focused on twisty, curvy style roads. Who knows? Maybe they'll save that for a later Horizon game. Maybe the next Horizon game will be based in Japan. We don't know. I have no clue. I mean, it's crazy to even be talking about that this early on. But I think, honestly, the way I feel about it is that there needs to be that type of road, because they know who they're catering to with those type of roads. They really do. I mean, where did all of the drifting videos in Forza Motorsport 4 come from? Fujimi Kaido, almost all of them. It was featured in the trailer, and people went crazy about it because they had a drift team on that road drifting down the side of the mountain. it was a big part of the trailer. It was a big part of what they originally showed at E3 back when Motorsport 4 was announced. And yes, I do remember that. I know it was a long time ago, but I do remember it because it was profound. It was a big part of the game, and I feel like that part of the game, that kind of driving, is still sort of missing. So, and I get that it's not really, I get that Australia isn't really the, it's not really a well-known area as far as, you know, mountain racing goes. I mean, it's certainly a well-known area for other things like off-roading, beaches, that kind of stuff. But mountain racing, not really an Australian thing. So I get where it might not be a good tie-in for Horizon 3. But maybe later on down the road, who knows? So another thing, going back to expansions and DLCs and the Blizzard Mountain Pack, I'm curious too as to see if the Blizzard Mountain Pack, I'm curious to see if people really start to gravitate towards using it, or if it's going to be something that we all play for like a week and then we come back to the main game. I don't know which way that's going to shift. I think it could shift either way. It really could. It has the potential to shift either way. And that just depends on how much replayability and how much lasting kind of fun the expansion has, and also how multiplayer focused it is. Because if it's not multiplayer focused, people aren't going to stay. They're going to finish it, and then they're going to go back to the main game because that's where their friends are. That's just how it works. And I think that, honestly, you have to balance your single player and multiplayer, because if you don't, you're going to keep people for about a week, and then they're going to be gone. So they're going to go back to the game, the main game that they always play, and that's just, like I said, that's just where they're going to spend their time, and that's just how it's going to work. Now, an interesting thing about that is the fact that the premise of Blizzard Mountain is kind of like, you know, it's a season tie-in with it being winter and all that sort of stuff, and I get that. That's, you know, that's cool. It makes sense. But if they're doing seasonal tie-ins, like for expansion packs and stuff like that, do they have something planned for the summer? Do they have something planned for maybe earlier than that? I don't know. But if they do, I'd be curious to see what it is. The only thing is, Horizon 3 as a whole was based off of summer. So I highly doubt that they're going to have something in store for that. Plus, next year being 2017, hopefully we see a new motorsport game, because, you know, it's kind of they do it in an every other year type system. But I'm really hoping that there's a lot of cool stuff on the way, and please, 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 if we are going to see mountain driving, Touge driving again, I really want it to come back in either Horizon 3 or Motorsport 7. I'm not sure which one it's going to be, but we need it to come back, and we really do. And I think that a lot of you guys in the comment section will agree with me on the fact that it needs to come back. It needs to be a thing, because it was such a big deal back in Motorsport 4, and I miss it. I miss it. But again, there will be more coming on Blizzard Mountain very soon, as the pack is releasing soon. Also, there's a new Forza DLC coming very, very soon as well, new car pack. So if you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to click the like button. Tell me in the comment section down below. Wow, why did I stutter with that? That's not usual for me. But again, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed.